Morgan Housel gave a speech that destroyed the entire concept of looking successful, and buried in his words is a psychological trap that explains why most people will die broke, even the ones who look rich. Psychologists call it the status wealth paradox, and once you see it, you can't unsee it in yourself. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why the wealthiest people you know are probably invisible, and why the people who look wealthy are often one paycheck from disaster. I've also put together a free scorecard that helps you audit whether you're building real wealth or just performing it. 10 questions, takes 2 minutes. Link in the description. Download it now because you'll want it by the end of this video. Let's hear what Housel actually said. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the renovations postponed, the clothes forgone, and the first-class upgrade declined. It's assets in the bank that haven't yet been converted into the stuff you see. When most people say they want to be a millionaire, what they might actually mean is, I'd like to spend $1 million. And that is literally the opposite of being a millionaire. Let that land. Wanting to spend $1 million is the opposite of being a millionaire. Most people have the goal backwards. But here's where it gets personal, because what Housel says next reveals why you've probably already fallen into the trap without knowing it. Think about what he just said. Every time you see someone flexing wealth, you're actually watching them get poor in real time. The Lamborghini isn't proof of wealth. It's proof that wealth left. Keep watching, because the next part explains the psychological trap that makes smart people do this anyway. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money, but it doesn't work in reverse. People are not impressed by what you own nearly as much as you think they are, because they're too busy thinking about themselves and what other people think about them. The world is filled with people who look modest but are actually quite wealthy, and people who look rich who live at the razor's edge of insolvency. That phrase, razor's edge of insolvency, that's the doctor with the $400,000 house and $380,000 in debt. The entrepreneur with the Tesla and the Max credit cards, looking successful, drowning quietly. This is the exact moment where most people's financial lives split into two completely different futures. One leads to freedom. The other leads to a prison you built yourself. And the worst part? Most people can't tell which path they're on. Housel's about to explain exactly why. When you see someone driving a nice car, you rarely think, wow, the guy driving that car is cool. Instead, you think, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool. Subconscious or not, this is how people think. There is a paradox here. People tend to want wealth to signal to others that they should be liked and admired. But in reality, those other people often bypass admiring you, not because they don't think wealth is admirable, but because they use your wealth as a benchmark for their own desire to be liked and admired. Read that again in your head. You buy the car to be admired, but the person who sees it doesn't admire you. They just imagine themselves in the car. You're performing for an audience that isn't watching. If this is making you rethink every purchase you've made in the last year, you need to subscribe to this channel. We break down the psychology that schools never taught you, the mental models that separate people who build real wealth from people who just look wealthy. Hit subscribe, because what Housel says next is the part that makes millionaires uncomfortable. And don't forget, the Invisible Wealth Scorecard is in the description. By the time this video ends, you're going to want to run those numbers for yourself. The irony is that people generally aspire to be respected and admired by others, and using money to buy fancy things may bring less of it than you imagine. If respect and admiration are your goal, be careful how you seek it. Humility, kindness, and empathy will bring you more respect than horsepower ever will. This is the status wealth paradox in full view. The thing you're buying to earn respect doesn't earn respect. Well, the things that actually earn respect are free. But Housel's not done, because there's a darker layer underneath all of this, something most people never confront. Here's what's happening right now. Every person watching this video is doing a mental calculation. You're either feeling attacked or feeling validated, and that reaction, that instinct to defend or agree, that's the trap working in real time. That's the status wealth paradox protecting itself. Stay with me, because the next part is the escape route. Modern capitalism makes helping people fake it until they make it a cherished industry. But the truth is that wealth is what you don't spend. It's the financial independence that's never shown in Instagram photos. It's the freedom from having your family's future depend on next month's paycheck. And the irony is that the people who attain it are often invisible because they haven't spent their money on the things that make them visible. The wealthiest person in your neighborhood is probably the one you've never noticed. They're not trying to be seen. They're trying to be free. Here's the brutal part. You already know everything I've said is true. You've always known it. So why do we keep playing the game? Because the game is designed to be invisible, and Housel's final point is how you see through it. True wealth is financial assets that haven't yet been converted into the stuff you see. So when you see someone driving a nice car, you should think, wow, that person might have spent a lot of money on that car, rather than, wow, that person must be rich. The only way to be wealthy is to not spend the money that you have. It's not just the only way to accumulate wealth, it's the very definition of wealth. That's the reframe that changes everything. Wealth isn't what you buy. Wealth is what you keep. The definition itself excludes spending. Here's what Housel is really saying. The status wealth paradox, fully decoded. You already have everything you need to be wealthy. You're just spending it trying to look like you are. Every dollar you spend to impress someone who isn't thinking about you is a dollar you can't use to buy your own freedom. That's the trap. That's the loop. And the people who escape it, they're the ones you never see coming. They're quiet, they're boring, and they're free. The Invisible Wealth Scorecard is in the description. 10 questions, 2 minutes. It'll show you exactly where you fall on the spectrum, building real wealth or performing it. Download it. Be honest with yourself. That's the first step out of the trap. And here's what I want to know. Drop a comment with the most expensive thing you bought to impress people that you now regret. I'll share mine in the pinned comment. Housel gave another talk about the psychological mistakes that destroy relationships, and it's even more uncomfortable than this one. I'm breaking that down next week. Subscribe so you don't miss it.